This intricately sculpted relief panel depicts Jesus encountering the pious women of Jerusalem on the day of his crucifixion. It's one of 14 panels called the Stations of the Cross, in niches on the north and south sides of the cathedral. Together, they portray the last hours of Jesus' life before his crucifixion. Monsignor Ritchie.
The Stations of the Cross begin with the scene of Jesus being condemned by Pontius Pilate and end with the scene of Jesus' body being put in the tomb.
Traditionally, Christian pilgrims traveled to the Holy Land to walk the route Christ walked on the way to the cross. But this sculpture series allows people in New York to have a similar experience without getting on a plane. Made in the 1890s, these panels were displayed at the Chicago's World Fair of 1893 and won several prizes for their artistry. Above this relief is a stained glass window called the Founder's Window, one of 70 stained glass windows in the cathedral. In the top window, you'll see St. Patrick dressed in red, preaching to peasants. In the panel underneath, you'll see the cathedral's architect, James Renwick, dressed in blue, presenting his plan to Archbishop Hughes, seated at the table. By the time Renwick got this commission, he had already designed the Smithsonian Institution's castle-like building in Washington, D.C., and Grace Church here in New York. To their right, you will also see another Archbishop of New York, Cardinal McCloskey, who completed the cathedral in 1879. St. Patrick's may have been the vision of one man, Archbishop Hughes, back in the late 1850s, but he couldn't do it alone. To get the cathedral built, Archbishop Hughes asked 150 prominent New Yorkers for a gift of $1,000 each. He received gifts from 103, including a couple of non-Catholics, but it wasn't enough. Here's Monsignor Ritchie.
So he said, well, we're going to have to depend on the immigrant population of New York, the pennies, the nickels, and the dimes of our own people. And as time went on, the nickels and the dimes and the pennies and the quarters and then ultimately the dollar bills all added up and the cathedral was built.
It was a sign that Catholics love their faith and love their church and want to make a statement that we love New York and we're here to stay.
Incidentally, a list of those 103 New Yorkers was tucked into the cornerstone back in 1858, and there it stayed buried. To this day, no one is sure exactly who is on the list.